Hey guys, Pastor P here. Hope you're doing well today. Beautiful, beautiful day outside. Beautiful day on the inside. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that life is treating you kind as we land in Luke chapter 6. Now we find in Luke chapter 6 that a lot of things that we looked at in Mark are being repeated in Luke. Confirming the eyewitness reports, confirming the things that were being reported back to the folks, were being documented. And we find in the Gospel of Luke that this particular chapter starts out when he was talking about how the disciples were going through the grain fields and they were picking heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands and eating the kernels. And the Pharisees, some religious folks, asked, why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath? Don't you know that we got Sunday rules that you're not supposed to break, okay? And he's already pointed out to them that he is the Lord of the Sabbath. And he spoke about how David and his companions, when they were hungry, they went into the house of God and partook of the consecrated bread and ate what was only lawful for priests to eat. Now, isn't that interesting? And it says here, on another Sabbath, he went into the synagogue and was teaching. And a man was there whose right hand was shriveled. And the Pharisees and the teachers of the law were looking, see, what are we going to do? What's he going to do with that? It's the Sabbath, and it is unlawful to heal on the Sabbath. What's wrong with him? And they're just looking for a reason to accuse him. So they watched him closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. But Jesus knew what they were thinking. He said to the man with the shriveled hand, get up and stand in front of everyone. See, he wanted to put this, I don't want to say put this on display, but he wanted to show that not only was he the Lord of the Sabbath, but he was the Lord over all these rules to silence all this limited thinking about God. And it says, Jesus knew what they were thinking. Get up, stand in front of everyone. And Jesus said to them, I ask you, which is lawful on the Sabbath? To do good or to do evil? To save life or to destroy it? And he goes on to say, he looked around at them and said to the man, stretch out your hand. And he did so, and his hand was completely restored. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law were furious, and began to discuss with one another what they might do to Jesus. Now, why would they be furious? Okay, these people supposedly serve God. Well, truth be known, and I know this is going to be a shocker, but a lot of religious folk, okay, are self-serving. They use the gospel when it's convenient. They use the Bible when it's convenient. I know we don't like to hear these things, but people do this, and they will be held accountable for every bit of it. And so Jesus was here just showing God-sized work. God-sized work. He was showing that God is God. God is still in the healing business. God is still in the delivering business, the saving business. But these folks, they wanted to try to figure out, they're furious because a lot of folks get mad and upset and judge what they do not try to understand. That happens on all levels, even now. People judge what they don't try to understand. And so my encouragement to you is, if there's something you're questioning or something that sparks you, get to the bottom of it to try to understand what's really going on. Because see, these Pharisees and teachers of the law, they were furious, began to discuss one another what they might do to Jesus. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do with this man? He's messing up the church. He's messing up religion with all his grace and all his mercy and all his miracles. My goodness. The chapter goes on to talk about the calling of the 12 apostles. Now, the very word apostle means the sent ones. And if you'll see in this particular chapter, and it makes it clear throughout that these are his disciples. These aren't disciples of some future religion or something like that. These are people who followed after him. Okay? When he said, follow me, they took him serious and they followed him and began to observe the way he presented himself, the way he came in, the way he came out, the way he healed, the way he taught, the way he preached, the way he shared much grace and mercy, the way he loved. And so it says that he didn't just go cast some votes or pick some straws or rock, paper, scissors. He didn't do that. It says he went to the mountainside to pray. Now, I'm assuming Jesus to be a praying man, that was a regular thing, went to the mountainside to pray. But it says that he prayed all night. He prayed all night about what was going to be best for those after him. He prayed all night because those who he chose in leadership were going to be the ones who, after he had left this earth, they were going to be the ones to continue to testify and to give testimony to who he was and who he is and who he's going to be to every person who will receive him. And so the fact that he prayed all night before he just appointed or elected to choose these particular folks, that's a message to us, okay? About not just selecting someone because maybe they look like us or talk like us or act like us or think like us or choosing someone out of ego or pride or greed or for some selfish ambition. It's not about choosing in that manner. It's about being very mindful, being very prayerful about who is to be chosen. And Jesus exemplifies that as he chose his apostles. And then right after that, he went down with them and stood on a level place. And it says a large crowd of his disciples was there and a great number of people from all over Judea, from Jerusalem, from the coastal region around Tyre and Sidon. They came to hear him. They came to be healed. They came to be cured. They came to be delivered from impure spirits. And it says that, and the people all tried to touch him because power was coming from him and healing them all. Power, that word power, the Greek word dunamis, where we get our word dynamite, that power was going from him and healing them. And it says, looking at his disciples, looking at those who were going to follow after him, he said, blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who hunger now, for you will be satisfied. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, when they exclude you, when they insult you, and reject your name as evil because of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day, and leap for joy, because great is your reward in heaven. For that is how their ancestors treated the prophets. But woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your comfort. Woe to you who are well fed now, for you will go hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will mourn and weep. Woe to you when everyone speaks well of you, for that is how their ancestors treated the false prophets. See, this particular passage this chapter is just so full. The blessings of the Lord and then the woeful recurrence or occurrences that will happen as a result of how people were. And when you look at these, a lot of these are attitudes, okay? And this commonly in Matthew is called the Beatitudes, all right? And so, but these are postures of purpose, okay? When you posture yourself in a place to serve God and serve God without selfish ambition, serve God without ego, serve God without trying to manipulate God and God's words and God's timing and God's purpose, okay? And you receive God as God and present yourself as yourself, okay? The blessings are there. But that bottom section, woe to those who misrepresent God. Woe to those who put themselves out there wrongly, okay? He goes on to tell them to love their enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you, do to others as you would have them to do to you. And he goes on to talking about, if you love somebody who loves you, what credit is that? How about loving your enemies? Love somebody who can't stand you. All right, let's see where that love goes. Let's see how that love tears down walls. Let's see how that love moves around obstacles and barriers and hindrances to let love be love, okay? And he says, if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? If you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? But his encouragement was love your enemies. Do good to them. Lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great. You will be children of the Most High. because he is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. And he went on to talk about judging others. Judging others. Whew. Just like, here the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, the religious folk are sitting on the fringe waiting to see what he can do. You know they're going to show up. They're stalkers. They're going to show up. They're the ones hustling on his Facebook page. Okay, never say anything, but they watching, they listening. All right? And it goes on to say, do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. Give and it'll be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it'll be measured to you. And he's just continuing to give them sweet, sweet wisdom. He tells them in verse 43, no good tree will bear bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. And otherwise, pay attention. Pay attention to the fruit that someone gives. What do you mean by fruit, Pastor P? It's the outcome, the attitude, their service to the Lord and their service to others. Look to see if they have kindness in their heart, if they have grace and mercy in their heart, if they have love in their heart, or is it some kind of selfish ambition? Is it out of envy or jealousy that they're responding? Pay attention to the fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. Woo, we spent a whole few months on talking about that. The mouth speaks what the heart is full of. And he goes on to talk about just building your house on a strong foundation. Build your house on love. Build your house on grace. Build your house on mercy. Build your house on goodness and kindness and patience and self-control. Build your house on something solid so that when the winds come, when the worry comes, when the doubt comes, when the fear comes, and it will, this world is full of it. When it comes passing your way, it can just keep on going, okay, without any harm to you, okay, because that's not what you believe in. You're holding your belief in the one who is the source of love and life, and light. Be about that. Be about that. I encourage you, read back through Luke 6. I know we went over it really quick, but I want you to get all of it. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Know today that you are loved without measure. See you tomorrow. Bye now.